This week on The Government and you are one very vocal person when it comes to issues like this. And you know, behind the scene, you're talking about women shouldn't just wait. I'm going to be a dissenting voice. And I said, yes, we need that voice to give women a wake-up call. What's your general opinion about this issue of low representation of women in governance? You're welcome. This is The Government and You, and I'm Ito Hanolomo Agbodo. As you can see, we have a very interesting discussion lined up for you, and it is again about women in politics, how to increase women participation in politics. But first of all, we'll go and hear what Nigerians are saying about this issue. Very, very important. Take a listen.
We have so many women and we have super women around the world, but to my own perspective, I think women should just be, because normally they are in politics, right? But it's just to come up to with the needs of people to be very difficult, you know, from the men's end, like our men in the politics now, the way they were doing things, they don't really want to involve women. Well, for women to be involved, at least she has to put her own totality. She has to be devoted, and she still have every other things at home doing. So, I don't think she really needs to be in. She can just be a supporter of some that were in her. So that's my own. Okay.
You're welcome back. Very interesting views there. But like we said in the other episode, when we first of all talked about this topic, women cannot just sit down and wait for the quota system. They can't just sit down and wait for these positions to be thrust at them and thrown on their lap. They have to go all out. You have to go all out if you are a woman. And this week I am joined by two beautiful women, lady lawyers again, and they are going to be talking about women participation in politics. I know last week we had Natalia, who spoke a lot about women, and you talked about competence. You're welcome again to The Government and You. And we have Eno Ebito Esong, a very distinguished legal practitioner. It's such a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
And you two beautiful ladies have something in common. I think I should have come with my glasses as well. Well, as you can see, these women are ready to represent you. They are ready to take any position you give to them. They are not just waiting for the quota system, because they know that they can go out there and get it. So I'm going to start with you, Eno. You are one very vocal person when it comes to issues like this. And you know, behind the scene, you're talking about women shouldn't just wait. I'm going to be a dissenting voice. And I said, yes, we need that voice to give women a wake-up call. What's your general opinion about this issue of low representation of women in governance?
Well, I think that we have, first of all, have got to check the background, the history, the social system that we run in, let's say, this part of the world, and even all over the world. It would appear that women are not as much represented as much as men in governance. And perhaps it's also about the patriarchal system. All over the world, or most part of the world, men, it's a man's world, they say. And then a politicking aspect of it. The actual politicking to get into, because there's something you do before getting to governance. You know, there's something to be done, there's electioneering, there's all those things happening before you get into government. Of course, some come by appointment, but appointments are not just people sitting at home who did not participate in some way or the other. They had participated one way or the other before. Some people were picked from representing different various caucuses to now come into governance. Now we have to check that background. When we check that background, then it will be easy for us to tell why we have less representation of women in politics.
A lot of women have businesses that are run by themselves. A lot of women they are occupying top positions. So let's revisit this issue. Do you think it's only about the money in terms of purchasing? Because if a woman is actually interested in getting those forms, she would go wherever she needs to go to get those forms.
Yes, you have a point. It's not all about getting the forms, because some women are disadvantaged, but there are those who can afford it. But affording is one thing. The question is, when it comes to the campaigns, this thing requires a lot of money. But then again, you could also have some people who have backings, maybe from family and close friends, who are able to support them. But the question is, are these women really ready?
That's
A lot of
question.
women, they don't think, like, I beg the man's thing. And then they are scared, maybe because of attacks here and there, political, So they don't want to be involved. So it's about the women being ready, the mindset. Women need to understand that it's not all about, that politics is not all about being dirty. They are clean politics. You go in there, do what you have to do. That's how I was laying emphasis the last time, on competence. You want to come out, no problem. Some women are even ready to even support their fellow women, gather money, funds, and push them out there. But the question is, are you competent enough to drive those goals, those policies? Because if women don't come out there, they can't push forward the things that concerns women. A lot of men don't even know what women really need. So it takes a woman to be involved, to know that, okay, these are things that concerns women, women's health and all that, what they go through. Women need to go out there. So it's the woman that needs to be ready. If a woman is ready, she has to overlook all the obstacles, and nothing comes easy. You have to be ready. First, the mindset, and then the hurdles of the funding and all that will be taken care of.
Okay.
That's the basic.
So basically, you have to have that determination, that
Exactly.
interest in wanting to run for office.
Yes.
So that is what we are talking about now, looking at how to now arouse the interest of women. How do you think we can make women more interested in coming out and vying for these political positions?
Well, when you want to cause a change, you have got to step out there. So what kind of change are we sitting in our
Kitchens.
Yeah,
Because it's all about the kitchen.
you actually said what was on my mind to say, but I restrained myself from saying that because we are also in the C-suites, we're in the boardrooms, we're sitting in very top places. So not just the kitchen, yeah, and just talking about how things are not working and how things could be better. Now, let me start from where we talked about the purchasing power, and in terms of maybe first of all, paying for the forms. The present president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, at the time he was vying for presidency, said it on national television that he did not have the funds to buy the form. So you don't have to have the money to buy the form. And what marked out this particular president in coming to power, because he had tried it a lot of times, was determination.
Yes.
Like you said,
Exactly.
Natalia.
Yes.
It was determination. Now, if women are determined to cause change or to come into the political office, because honestly, the best leader is the best woman on the floor. I tell you.
Please say that again.
I was gonna
For
say-
emphasis, please say that again. And I think we should even have the drum rolling at this time.
Maybe I should do that.
No, for real, honestly.
Yeah.
But I think the best leader is the best woman in front, honestly. Because, see, then the nature itself, the way God created woman, woman was to nurture, conceive, nurture, build, and grow. It was not a mistake.
No.
So women can actually, the right women, of course, can actually build, nurture, and grow. There is the place of empathy. There's a place of understanding. There's a place of all of these natural endowment that women have been given that can make them naturally good leaders. So we need to have women come out and represent. We've always had women in politics. It's not a new thing.
Yeah.
I mean, we had Margaret Ekpo in Calabar. We had Fumi Kuti in the South. We had Amina in the North.
Yes.
We've got them.
Everywhere.
Women have been in politics since a long time ago. But the challenge we'll be having is a matter of saying creating a balance or having more women in politics. And that's why we're having this discussion.
And when you talk about women causing a change, as far back as 1929, we had the Aba Women's Riot.
But you just took it out of my mind because I was going to use that example.
These women came out and said, we are not supporting this tax system. And it was about
Exactly.
taxation.
It was tax, yes.
And they changed the policy. They
Using
came out.
cassava sticks. to chase
So
the men.
it's about women being determined, really. So now, I like the way you said, we are even laying emphasis on women being competent because we like excellence. Because for the men
Yes.
folk, we're not hearing so many people coming out to say, oh, these men have to be competent. But we as women, we don't want any weakling to represent us. We need the best woman to represent us. And like you said, the best leader is the best woman forward. So we need that best woman forward, and that's why we are here. Now, we've talked about some factors militating against women coming out to say, oh, they are vying for positions. Last time on the show, we talked about the night meetings. Is there any way we can change that?
Well, should we change it? Great ideas, great decisions are made in the middle of the night. I have participated in meetings I held overnight. So now, you see, this is another thing. Now, when the choice of a spouse, I mean, we need to address all things that affect women.
Thank you.
Because when you get married, the society that we live in, even the scriptures say that the man is the head of the family.
Exactly.
And so, if you're a woman who's interested in politics, perhaps let us start from in choosing a spouse.
Yes.
Is your spouse going to support your political ambition? Now, it is a rough terrain. We must accept the fact. So, is your husband going to allow you? Because sometimes, not because the man wants to be, I'm the head of the family, it's also to protect the women or to protect the wife and mother of his children. So, is he going to be able to, like, be involved in the kind of things that go on in playing politics? There's violence, of course, you know that. It goes on. So, let's start from there. Foundationally, in countries, more enlightened countries, they would like to call them, you know, people that want to become something from the beginning. Somebody, you have got to determine from the beginning, make the right decisions. Choice of a spouse is very important. Where it is that you're going to is also important. And then decision, are you going to go through what needs to be gone through? Then the support system, like we said, can they attend meetings at night? Should we change the meeting? If we have to attend meetings at night, let's attend the meetings.
Let's attend the meetings. You know, Nath, talking about meetings at night, women are very, very beautiful people. Yes, we are beautiful people. And at night, we attend night vigils. Most churches, you see the population of women
In the church.
in the church higher than that of the men. Night vigils, women are more than the men. So can we still say this is a factor actually militating against our involvement in politics?
Yes, I would say yes, it is. And that's because, again, the church brings about serenity, quietness, and you feel, okay, I'm in God's presence. But here we're talking about politics at night. And we know what happens in politics, especially here in Nigeria. There's violence associated with it. A lot of things. And some of these women are scared that if I go there, I could be raped, I could be maimed, I could be harmed, I could be going home after the meeting and I'm attacked. So that puts that fear in them. If they feel strongly that the environment in question will be safe for them, I think a lot of women would say, okay, fine, if it's in the night, you know, and again, we still go back to the same thing she said, the support. I mentioned that I'm able to do a lot of things because my husband gives me that support. He says, okay, I'll take care of the home front. And that's the reason why I'm here today.
Yes,
So
thank you so
if-
much. Thank
do you understand? So if a man doesn't support, then you're wasting your time. And because the trust of a partner, it's very important.
Very key.
I don't want to go all Christian now, but that's the truth. The trust of a partner is important. And then the religious, the cultural and religious effects are equally there. If they don't support the women to go out there, because women are multipliers. Women, like she said, nurturers. They are creative. They are empathic. They're like, okay, fine. Let me understand. Women are go-getters. They want to go, okay, identify a problem and run with it. That's how women are, how women functions. So if you don't, if they don't have all these things in place, then, and as she said, she's actually changing my perspective. If we can go for the vigil, if we can go out there, why can't you go? Pray, go for that vigil, pray for God's protection, and go there. Maybe if you get there and you find out that you can't, stand the violence and all that, then okay, fine. But don't just say, this is going to happen to me without even going out. Exactly. You must try. Be determined. From childhood, I wanted to be a lawyer. And I said, okay, I'm going to be a lawyer. And I took steps. It's not just about conceiving it, but having that focus, determination. Obstacles will come, but what should you do? keep on. If you fall, stand and keep pushing. Get the right system. Be able to network. People with like minds. You can't want to be a politician and you're hanging out with the market women who don't have concerns about buying and selling. You're not talking about fish, the price of things in the market, and you are talking about politics. It's not their business. They want the money to feed, to make their business. You are looking there. So you look for like-minded people, network with them, be with them, and discuss ideas. That will help you shape
their
your
decision
focus.
and your
Exactly.
focus. Okay, I like this direction we're going into. You started by saying, I want to be a lawyer, for instance. I want to be a politician. I want to be a governor. I have to make those choices from the beginning, not when I'm 50. I suddenly realize, it's something that just came upon me. Now, talking about night meetings, we have technology. One good thing that came with the fiasco, the pandemic, whatever, was the technological advancement that we saw. Meetings, we can meet online. Exactly. We're schooling online, doing different things online, buying online. So why can't we also have political meetings via this system?
You see, so now we cannot let any of these challenges stand in our way. And then perhaps we also need to be able to start identifying, perhaps maybe women, caucuses, groups of women who want somebody to be, because that's what happens. People sit down and agree on who they want to be the next governor. That's what happens.
That's what happens.
So now look at this angle. The angle of the yellow jazz.
I was going there because you mentioned women, market women, very important.
These are power brokers, power
anytime, any day,
governors makers, president makers in this country. So this is a very strong power block. How are we harnessing it to aid participation of women in the society? I think that it's a bit complex, but we cannot give up because it looks complex. So we can use all these networks and let's have women look around, like these people can probably represent us, push people forward, identify people, push them forward. One time ago, Pastor Chris mentioned something about the president, if you looked at the people who have been president of America, there were Rhodes Scholars, something. There were people who had a particular background.
Yes.
That, again, helps. Anybody can be somebody. I mean, if we look at our system that we run in Nigeria, you would see the people we thought were undesirables are getting into government houses, corridors of power.
Yes.
Exactly.
We can make the difference as women blocs. I think they even say that there are more women than men.
Yes,
that's correct.
Statistically, it's proven that we have more women than men. So why should we remain the minority? But we're going to a quick break. This conversation is so interesting. I like the fact that we're mentioning the fact that women, especially market women, they actually have a role to play because they're like power brokers. You said power brokers. Well, we'll go on a quick break. When we return, we're talking about the role that these women, these market women in quotes, have to play in increasing the participation of women in politics. Stay with us. You're welcome back. Well, if you just joined us, this is The Government and You, and we are still discussing this very interesting topic, how to increase women participation in politics. I have legal practitioners here, women, heavy women, women of timber and caliber, Eno Ebito-Esong, Nath Odidika Sesabo, and we're talking about how to increase women participation in politics. And we talk about market women. You call them power brokers, the yellow jazz. How do we use these women for ourselves? Iyaloja, I want to come out and be the next representative for this constituency or the next local government chairperson. How do we use them?
I think we have to learn how to play better politics.
Yes.
Because often we're clean. We don't like to be stained. Just like, and it is not a bad thing because, like when you're coming from a family, they say you know whose child you are. You're coming from maybe a church, you know what you're representing. You're a Christian, you're whatever it is that you are. So all of those things sort of appear to restrain women more. I'm an advocate for let's throw the stones. When we get there, we will polish ourselves.
Yes.
Yeah. I believe in my heart. I know I'm going to do what I'm going to do. I know what I can do. And I'm going to help the people. I'm going to cause a change. But if I can cause that change, I need to get there. So there's things to be done. People to be associated with. You cannot feel too, look at my Versace blouse. I can mix with the pepper seller in the market. These are the things that need to be done. You need to associate with the right people. Let's not be ladies when we want to get into people and get them to support us.
Now, if you mentioned the fact about networking, which we are still talking about now, networking is a key. I go to the market to shop, to buy fish, to buy meat, to buy tomatoes, and you talk about pepper as well. But I can just talk to this woman Nkechi or Mama Nkechi or whatever we call them in this region. Can you help me to talk to this woman? I'm in so and so party. I want to come out as local government chairperson. Help me to talk to your women. Or on Saturday, I'm having a meeting. Can we start by that now?
Yes, we actually can. When she was talking, she said we need to identify these people and bring them. But the question again is, how are you going to be identifying these people? If I want to, run for a presidency, for instance, or at a local level, I want to be involved in politics. Let me say that. I need to bring myself out there. If I don't bring myself out there, people can't know what I do or can't say this is my kind of person. So it's all about identification. Identify yourself with those people. Women are very powerful. Women need to support each other. Women need to be there for each other. So go down, come down from your high horses, be humble. Yes.
Because it's all about the grassroots.
Yes.
We talk about starting from the grassroots.
Yes.
You cannot just go to Abuja and say, I want to be a senator. Who are you representing? Who are the members of your constituency? As a pastor, you are leading people. People already know that you are an advocate for excellence, and when you are given the opportunity to do this, that, you achieve more than 100%, and you pull that same spirit in people. How do we start from our churches? It's just like evangelism now. Politics is about evangelism, winning them and bringing them.
Oh, now that's that.
I know you're a pastor, but please don't preach too much.
Okay, no, you see, I think that, the church has always been involved. In the 1880s, the church was involved. The location, the venue in Seneca, I think that's the name of the city, where the first women emancipation or women's right meeting was held, it was in a church. That was as far back as the 1800s. So the church has always been involved in politics, and the church is rightly so, because we know the message, we know the word, we have the vision, we know the plans and purpose of God. God is love, and we are told that the love of God is shed abroad in our hearts. And that's what politics should be about. Politics is about serving the people, which is what Jesus came to do, to save the world. So the church should actually be very much involved. So starting from the church has actually pushed. Of course, you know that when politicians want to run for election, you see them in the church. They are at our churches visiting, and in all of this, I've never seen a lady. Yeah, so ladies, where are we? Now we can push people from inside the church, all right? If you're interested in governance and being political and all that. Now, the church preaches the gospel. We are not politicians. However, we have raised quality people who have been taught the rudiment, the tenet of leadership, that we can have candidates coming from the church. Now, I'm from the church. I've always been politically minded. What changed my course of life? Because I wanted to make a change. When I realized that the gospel of Jesus Christ was man's only saving grace, that became my priority. But I was still writing articles. I would write articles during the election period. And we had a group, and some of us joined the group. It was a patriotic grouping. Now, I was there, and we're talking about how to change things, how to the candidates to go, publicizing, motivating people to go out to vote. It was towards the end that I realized that even the members of the group were aligned to different political parties. Some of us were just there. I knew it was a lady thing because I'm a lady. I don't know. Realized that they were politically aligned. So ladies, when you get to groups, you have to realize the political alignment in all the groups you are. Nobody's there as a figurehead. They all have interests. Now, why should the people in the church also have to be involved in politics? The church has interests.
Yes.
Everybody has interest. Politics is a game of interest. What is the interest? Is your interest strong enough for you to go and be a voice there or be a person in control of power? There's so much you can do if you're outside the corridor. In fact, if you're not on the chair, the throne, the sitting where the power sits, there's so much you can do, which is why we must all be involved. If you're in the church and you have interest, let us know. It's not the first time.
Indeed, the time is now. You know, talking about starting from where you are, starting from the grassroots. Nat, you're a politician in school. I know you campaigned. I remember vividly that you campaigned for something. Because we have to breed the women, starting from schools now, that see, wherever you are, you have to start by being a prefect, you have to start by joining the student union governments and things like that. So tell us a bit about that.
Okay, it's actually very important that you start from that place. In primary school, apart from being a class captain, I rose to become the head girl, and then moved from there to secondary school. I was class captain for a long time, and then I went in. You know, I was hiding. And then in the final year, I was picked, you know. So I carried on. So back in university, it was time for the law student elections, and I knew that I could do it. And there was another lady coming out, and so she approached me and said, "No, please, can you please step down for me so that I can?" And I was like, "Okay, fine, let her go, and I'll support her." I gave her that support because I know she's also very competent. So it's important we start at the grassroots level, at secondary schools. Exactly. That sensitization is very important. We need to know. So the mind is prepared. And because a lot is happening in our society that we're not even happy about. How do we create that change? It's to start there. You see, if we don't teach the young ones, they will go off. And that's why that issue I mentioned at the last time, I said mentoring is important. Beyond training, women who are influential, women who have the power and all that should teach the younger ones, mentor them, let them understand. And that's when I mentioned the issue of quota, for instance. Women want to see women who have gone in there and done well. I chose to study law because I saw a female lawyer, how she was doing, you know. I saw the way she went about it, the influence. And that was my influence. And I was like, okay, I want to be like this woman. She had that impact. So when it comes to politics, people have seen where you've done something. When she was talking, said about you do something and then you go out there. People say, when she did this, she did well. So I think she could do well here, she would do better. And so there was in our group at secondary school last year, and they wanted somebody who would bring out their account number. They said, okay, let's not handle our funds for us. So, you know, talking about that trust, because again, if somebody's coming out, we're looking at somebody who can trust. So when someone said, okay, let's handle our finance for us while we prepare for this, some said, no, we don't trust her, we don't know her, it's been long. Some said, well, we've seen her before, let her do it. And so I had to clear my account and give them my account number. So they paid in the money, and it was time to disburse the money. I disbursed the money. I need to give, by the time we were done with the event, I had to, the date, the time the money was disbursed, who I give the money to, the balance and all. Because it's like, we consider money. Some said spend all the money. I said, why spend all the money? We have plans. We have to register our association. So there was debate here and there. Women, we like politics. I'm telling you. There were a lot of politics going behind the doors. So at the end of the day, I gave them a breakdown of how the money was spent. And there was still balance. And then I submitted my report. They said, lawyer. Now again, it's time for us to register the association and carry out a major project. They said, who do we, since we don't have an account yet, who do we? Someone said, but Nat did it very last time. You see what happened?
Yes.
And that was what they said, you're going to, in fact, you don't want, someone said, let's put her as president. Someone said, put her as vice president. Someone said, no, we want somebody who can handle our cash, our money. So she's going to be the financial secretary. And that's how they now imposed it on me and said, you handled our cash the last time. So if that had not happened, and one lady said, I can't trust myself. There's a lady in the group that said, if you give me your money, I may give your money back, but it might take, I will spend that money, so don't give it to me. She knew her weakness. And you know, so that's so if you are doing something and you do it right, people are there, they are watching. You might think people are not watching, people are not seeing. It starts from the family as well. You have family gatherings. And then somebody, you know, goes out, handles things well, organizes things very well. People eat, people, you know, drink, and everybody's satisfied. People are watching. And they say, if you can do this from home, don't forget that the family is the smallest unit of the society. So we start from the grassroots. Start from the secondary school level.
from the grassroots.
Start somewhere,
Yes,
and then you know.
very interesting indeed.
Yeah.
You know, this discussion is a discussion that has to go on and on and on and on. Women are honest, women are full of integrity, women are determined, and they are achievers. Well, we know that there are a lot of characteristics that women have, and that's why we are saying come out, get your PVCs, register in a political party. But it is time for us to draw the curtain this week on the government and you. But before we go, I want very, very quick last words. Quick one. Eno.
All right. Let's not forget the place of the law. While the Constitution, especially in Nigeria, does not state that we should give a particular, quota or portion or numbers to women, we've got the affirmative action. We've got, when President Obasanjo was there, he gave a certain percentage. Let's not forget the place of the law, regulations, policies. And men, let's have your support. Give the policies, make the rules that will aid more participation of women in politics.
Nice.
Thank you.
Women, come out. Support fellow women. Put yourself out there. Don't just sit back. Be involved. So get your PVC. I said it last time, and I'm saying it again. Get your PVC, not just to vote, but equally to be voted for. Come out there. Get your own, because you're going to equally vote for yourself too. Vote for other women in other places as well. And don't just wait and rely on being appointed. Be involved. Be the change maker, so that the society becomes a better place. Thank you.
Indeed. So you have to be the change that you want to see. Women, be that change. And of course, women, we know we are great change agents. That is why we have to be involved. That's how much we can take this week on the government and you. And remember that every policy of government affects the church. So the place of the church is very important as well. So you come out and vote so that these policies will favor the righteous cause of the gospel. And you have to also give your life to Jesus Christ, because he is the Lord above everything. It's Ohanoloma Agwedo from me. It's bye for now.